Hello beautiful souls. Today we're going to be making our own jewelry centers. And this is not my idea. This idea I got from watching a few videos that were created by these lovely Russian ladies. I don't know them personally. I will link as many channels as I can, as I saw, because I don't remember them and I didn't save them, but I will link as much as I can in the description box below of their channels of where I got this idea from. I'm going to share a little bit of my inner world, my own personal journey. For me personally, to keep my soul and my spirit at peace, I like to be fair. So I'm going to give credit where it's due. If it's not my original idea, I'm going to share that it wasn't my original idea, and I will share, if I can, who inspired me to create, you know, a duplicate of what they did, probably using different materials and colors, you know, because obviously we're not always going to have all the same things that we see somebody else create. So if I'm going to do a duplicate of what they did exactly the way they did it, I will give them credit. If I revamp what I did, but because it was still their original idea, it was an inspiration, I'm still going to give them the credit, even though I did it differently. That keeps my soul and myself at peace to do that. I feel good about myself when I do that. I wouldn't feel good if I created something and didn't give credit to where I got the inspiration from, and take full credit for something that I know very well, knowingly, that it wasn't my total idea. I'm not going to feel good keeping that to myself. That's, you know, these are the things that I learn about myself as I grow spiritually, as I learn things about myself, you know, the things that trigger me, the things that don't make me feel so good, the things that, you know, that make me feel really good about myself. So I wanted to share that. So with that being said, again, not my original idea, but I did use different beads other than the original way of doing it, which I did do it the original way that I saw. And then I also used other different kinds of beads, because you can do this with other different kinds of beads. So I used, of course, the glass pearl beads 6mm from BB Crafts, and these are glass. And I also used this chain, this rhinestone chain from BB Craft. So these products I used, and I created these. Look how pretty these are. Then I also added dangles to these, to the plain ones. And it's really not plain because it's beautiful. But to the, you know, to this piece, I added a jump ring. And all I did was, before I glued this flat back pearl, I sewed in the jump ring so they're still movable, and I can still open them to add my to add some beads. This is a glass bead. I get these from I got it from a bracelet, and I did it on the top so that I can add the jump ring. I just sewed them on and then added extras to it. I could have made like a cluster of dangles on that, which would have been pretty too, but I wanted to, you know, keep it simple for now. I'll advance later. Here's another one, inverting the colors. And then there's the mint green one, and this I used these beads to do that, pearl beads. They turned out so pretty. And then you can use regular flat back pearls. And this is what I created with these. These are just the flat back. And these we can buy already made like this. But if you can't find them in your area, or you know you're having a difficult time finding them, or you don't want to spend the extra money, you can go ahead and make it yourself. Of course you would have to purchase these items to do so. And you can use your flat back pearls that you already have on hand. And I've even used this one, okay? And then I did these using the adhesive flat back pearls. You could also use these. That's what I used around the edge. So there are probably many more ways to create these, but this is what I've done thus far. So okay, so I'm going to show you how to do these four. So for the supplies, you're going to need 6mm pearls. I'm using the BB Craft glass beads, 6mm. These come in 400 beads. You will need one of these to create this. And I will link the product in the description box below, and the shipping is worldwide. Free shipping worldwide. Okay. You will also need a really strong glue. I'm using this and my hot glue gun because I don't want to wait for this to set. Okay, so we'll be using a little bit of this, and since I don't have a real fine tip on this E6000, I will be using a toothpick. So if you don't have a fine tip on yours, you will need a toothpick, and I'd rather use E6000 for jewelry making because you don't want it to fall apart. Hot glue on metal or glass doesn't bond very well. After a while, it's eventually going to fall apart. So I am going to use E6000, and I highly recommend that. This you can get at Home Depot. I buy this at Home Depot for a lot less than I would online. I used to buy one that was called Goop, which is the equivalent to this, but they no longer carry it for whatever reason, I don't know. So I'm using this now. Toothpick, I did say that. You're going to need a needle and thread for the beads. You could also use that thin fishing wire because it's see-through. You're not really going to see it, but I'm just going to use regular thread. That's what I did here, and you still don't see it, so this will work just fine. You will also need various flat back pearls for the other, for like these. You're going to want a center that's big, and then for the sides you're going to want ones that are smaller. You're also, of course, going to need scissors because we're going to be cutting felt. You're going to need felt. And I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. And then you can get yourself your snack. I have my little smoothie here. That's my breakfast. That's made with a banana, pineapple, berries, and some almonds. These are like a mixed berries. Anyway, that's my snack and breakfast at the same time. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our needle and thread, and then we're going to choose what colors we want for the outside. You could also multicolor it and make it real colorful if you want. Like you can do like a pink, green, pink, green, pink, green. You know, you can alternate that way, and then just do like a cream color in the middle. It's up to you. I'm just gonna keep it the way I've been doing it, like this. You're gonna need 1, 2, 3, so 6 altogether. And you don't need to tie this off at the end. Just make sure that it's not gonna come out on the other side there. Keep it in the thread. Okay, and all you're gonna do is you're gonna tie it. That's all we're doing here. So you're gonna tie it to form a circle. Oopsie. And then you're just gonna cut off the excess. Okay, so that's the first step. Easy, right? Easy peasy. I think I'm gonna put that. I think I'm gonna put a mint green in the center, so I'm gonna go ahead and take that out. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the felt, the E6000. I'm gonna add glue more towards like the inside, not really on the top of the pearl. And I'm gonna put it on my felt. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit of hot glue so that it doesn't, you know, to give it a semi-permanent adhesion, so it doesn't move while I'm working on that. Okay, so then I'm gonna take my scissors again, and I'm gonna cut around the pearl. So I want some of the pearl showing on the underside from the felt. So you don't want too much felt showing. Okay, so there's the back of that. All right, the next step is adding these, and we're going to be adding 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4. You're going to cut out just 4 of these. Okay, so the other thing you're going to need, which I failed to mention, I'm mentioning it now, is some kind of jewelry cutter. And you're going to need 6 of these as well. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. One more. Okay. Okay, so now that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, here's where I'm going to be using the toothpick, and I'm going to squeeze some E6000 on my silicone mat here on the right side. so that I can grab it with the toothpick. So now I'm going to take some E6000 on a toothpick, and then I'm going to add it here in between two pearls. Okay, and I'm going to take the rhinestone on the chain, and I'm going to wrap it around. Easy peasy, simple as that. Okay, and I'm going to do that to all in between the pearls. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to do is add the pearl in the center. For this I will be using hot glue. You want to fill it there, and then these have holes on it, remember, so you want to glue this where the holes are on its sides. That's all there is to that. Super easy, right? So that's how these are done. Now we're gonna make these, the flat back, using the rhinestone, but using a flat back pearl. And for this one is going to be a little different. We're still going to need the felt. So I'm going to do, I think I'll do this color. So again, I will be using E6000 and hot glue to glue this down. So I want to make sure I have room on the edges to glue down the smaller flat backs. Okay, it should be these. For this, I'm just going to use hot glue. And I'm going to be adding the hot glue mostly on next to this pearl. So once you have it all adhered down to the felt, you're going to do the same thing. We're going to trim. And I'm trimming just a little bit under the flat back pearl. We're also going to need to trim in between the pearls. So we want the rhinestone chain to go right around that. And for this one, I'm not worried about not using E6000 on the smaller pearls, flat back pearls, because this is going to be glued down. This is more like a center for, you know, when you make a handmade flower. Okay. So we have that. And it looks like a flower in the back, the felt. Alright. Now for this one, we're going to need, of course, more of these. And we're only going to be using 3 as opposed to 4. Since these are flatter, you're going to use less. These are more dimensional, more round, so that's why we needed the 4 on this one. So we're only going to be using 3. And we're going to cut, how many of these do we need? See, we're only going to be using just the 3. Okay? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to need 8 of these this time. 8. So I have an extra one here. Okay. So I've cut my 8 rhinestone. And again, we are going to use E6000 for this, because since it's on the top, we don't want that falling apart. And I'm squeezing some out here on the side. And again, I'm just going in between the pearls. And I want to bring it all the way to the bottom there. So I'm putting it all the way to the bottom here. Okay? And you got to make sure that you're positioning these properly, because they tend to twist. Okay, so then you continue that all around, and then you will get that. This is wider than this one, but this is more dimensional than this one. See? It's more dimensional. These are great for when you don't want anything too dimensional. So that's how you create this one, and you keep going all around. Now we're going to be doing these. These are like super duper easy, like crazy easy, right? So you take your flat back pearl. You could even do a round pearl like this. You can make them smaller. As a matter of fact, we'll do that here. I haven't done it. Let's do this. We'll do this one. Let's see how that turns out. We're experimenting now, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do this one first. And I will add some E6000 on the edges. And voila. See how simple that was? That one is like super easy, quick, simple to make. And of course I'm going to leave that there to dry, because I only added the E6000 on the edges and not the hot glue. So that's definitely going to move if I attempt to cut it. What I am going to do is I will cut this out. And when it's fully cured, then I will go ahead and trim it. And then I did want it to attempt to do this by itself, right? So let me do a little bit of E6000, a little bit of hot glue. Okay, not too bad, but look how tiny! So imagine that on a really small flower, that center. So that works also. Okay. There it is. I will link the products in the description box below for bbcraft.com. So with that being said, let's share, be fair, be filled with love, and love one another. Take good care, everybody.